Justice League 3000 #1, written by Keith Giffen and J.M. DeMatteis, art by Howard Porter. So, I think the title pretty much gives it away, but it is Justice League in the future. Specifically, they say early in the 31st century. So, it's a completely different continuity, I guess you could say, but it is just its own thing. So, we open up in 21st century where a narration tells us, okay, things were good for a really long time. Like, yes, there was still suffering in the world and some people were struggling, but like, we got rid of like poverty and hunger and disease. Like, things were really awesome. However, 10 years ago, the Five came. And as soon as that happened, it was just everything went to trash, the whole universe. And across 1,000 worlds, the Five took power. And we're introduced to this woman named Ariel Masters, who is currently on the run because she's part of a resistance against the Five and whatever they call. It's called the New Cosmic Order. And we see her, she's got some materials and guns and stuff. And all of a sudden there's a knock on her door, and it's the police. She's under arrest for defying the Five. And so she chops, and it's called The Project. I don't know if that's the police or if that's the entire, new order going on. But regardless, she busts out a window. She does a whole routine of, getting out of there. And she does have a suit. It's called an H suit that can camouflage and, mess with their sensors. She turns that on, and she's like, I don't want to do this because they'll know I'll have an H suit next time, but I will be able to escape this time. So she manages to hide and says, well, I could blame the project, I could blame the twins, but all of this is because of me. So then we go to a planet called Cadmus World, and it's got a whole bunch of technological stuff, and I'm going to skip the joke that they put at the end of this issue. It's the Wonder Twins. We're introduced to two twins who are incredibly smart, who are running this project, and it's spread over the course of the whole issue, but apparently their mentor was Ariel Masters, and Ariel had this idea of, we could take this genetic material that we've had on ice for a millennium of the Justice League and essentially reform it and make a new Justice League in order to take on the Five. And Ariel didn't go through with it because she saw there were numerous problems, but then she was kicked off or left or something, and these twins named Terry and Terry, they were put in charge of the project, and they decided to go full steam ahead, and they essentially cloned the original Justice League. And we see that the boy Terry is very yeah, they can do it. They're the Justice League, and we never fail. We're the Wonder Twins. Whereas the girl Terry is a lot more skeptic and is no, there's a reason she didn't go forward with it, and there's still major problems with our Justice League. And we get to see what those problems are. So, again, Superman, Batman, Green Lantern, Flash, Wonder Woman. That's the lineup. However, all of them are clones. All of them know they are clones, and they all have very different personalities because while they have the genetic material the same, their personalities were essentially based off of how people remember them 1,000 years later. So we see they're in the middle of a fight against a couple hundred things controlled by an alien intelligence called the Convert. And we see Batman is down, locked and loaded, and he's oh yeah, we've got this under control. We can handle this. This is Justice League. And Superman is very, very cocky, and he's oh yeah, Superman will handle this. And Batman's I swear to God, put me down. Get me out of your arms now. I hate you so much. And Superman's I hate you too, Batman. We are rivals and enemies. And Superman is just 100% drinking his own Kool-Aid. Meanwhile, we see Flash is talking to Green Lantern, and Green Lantern is kind of the same, but he apparently gets his power not from a ring, but from this cloak that he wears that imitates the Green Lantern abilities. Meanwhile, Flash is 100% pessimistic. He's yeah, no, we're just clones, and we're not even real. Everything's just fake. Everything's so fake around us. And Green Lantern's Jesus Christ, kid. You're not, I thought you'd be the worst, but actually Wonder Woman's the worst. Turns out she is just killing machine. She is 100% Amazonian, and she's just smashing and murdering everybody around her. So, yeah. Then everyone has like half memories. Everyone is half aware of like, no, I vaguely remember this being different, but I also can't remember specifics about my own life. So the fight continues on. Again, Superman's just 100% drinking his own Kool-Aid and arguing with Batman the whole time. In fact, one point, Batman is just like, or sorry, Green Lantern tells him like, hey, you might not want to argue so much. He's Superman, you know? And Batman's like, yeah, how could I forget? He keeps on reminding us. So at that point, there's only one convert left, and he's just like, oh, we are but one convert. We are all converts. We've come for your surrender. And the Justice League is like, I'm sorry, you do understand you're the only one left standing, right? And he's like, for now, but we heard about your heroes. You are compassionate. You will not kill. And then Wonder Woman just throws something at his head and immediately kills him. And Flash is like, hey, we were kind of hoping to interrogate him. Shouldn't we have left him alive? And he's just like, yeah, but he's the enemy. It's like, right, but we were getting information out of him. And she's like, yeah, but he's the enemy. It's like, all right, great. So Superman and Batman continue arguing with each other until they are literally about to throw punches at each other. Wonder Twins call him back to base, just being like, all right, all of you come back. Jesus Christ, this was a mess. So they go through a portal. And the Wonder Twins, again, continue arguing. Same sort of stuff I was saying before about, like, is this a good idea? Like, they're supposed to take on the Five, but they are literally infighting at this point. And it's just like, yeah, but that's all just kinks we can work out, says male Terry. Female Terry's like, look, I don't like it, but if this is the only option we have, I'm willing to at least give it a shot, okay? But, like, we take this slow, we take this at my pace, and we make sure that everything goes according to plan. And we see like some interviews with the team members as they're talking to like other team members. And everyone's basically just like, oh yeah, no, this is going to hell. Like none of this is going to work out. This is all garbage. I don't even understand why they brought us back. Like none of this is going to do well. And then you see Superman and Batman once again arguing at each other in their own testimonials. So the Wonder Twins say like, all right, look, we'll do what we have to. We'll make this work. But I mean, how bad could it really get? And our final shot is Superman literally about to punch Batman in the face and the rest of the Justice League holding him back. So, yeah, good intro to the team. It's a very different dynamic. It's showing, you know, here's a team. They hate each other. And how are they going to be able to come together in order to actually fight evil? I do think this is a thing that Keith Giffen and DeMatteis, like, because they wrote Larfleeze, and I think one of them had a hand in that Threshold book that came out. They enjoy doing this. These flawed heroes that are like not even heroes, really. They're just anti-heroes. So, yeah, I mean, I'm down for it. It's an interesting concept at the very least. And not being held back by a like they're set in the future. They can do whatever they want. They can completely destroy the world. It's not going to matter because it can just be overwritten. So they're not held back by continuity. I'd like to see how far this can really be taken. Beyond that, it was a okay enough first issue. I do think it went a little bit too long on the whole Wonder Twins just recapping over and over saying like, oh, but they're the Justice League. And the other one being like, but they suck. I'd say it's probably a 7.5. I enjoyed it, but I think I enjoyed it more in concept than I did execution. It does have a lot more it can pull out of it, and I want to see what it does with it, but it's got to earn it. So yeah, 7.5 for now.